Clowers. JT, come on to the stage.
All right.
For everybody, ladies.
Okay, hi everybody.
Hi.
Okay, so I am going to read a few poems that are from a collection of poetry that I'm going to be publishing hopefully next year. Hopefully next year. It's going to be called Life in Retrospect. And just to be forewarned about everything, some of my poetry don't have titles at all. And some of them are kind of short, so just don't worry about not knowing when to clap or whatever. But okay. Also, I went through and read everything that I have been writing since 2006, that's when I started writing this stuff. And I kind of realized the predominant theme two basically being politics and the other being love. So the group of poetry will be separated between politics or politica and love or eros. Okay, here we go. This one is called Little Sis. She stands with her face facing the south, the wind blowing harshly blistering her mouth. She's the essence of the movement, every curve and rounded part of her body a story, telling tales that should never be told, but should forever be heard. She lifts her hands high to her father, the sky. With every grain of her, lifts her hands high to her father, the sky. She sets her feet firmly upon the earth of her mother. Every grain of her earth caressing, loving. In the womb of her mother, she loves it. The safety, the oneness heavenly, but nay is she made of bronze. She carries on her person a loudspeaker, and in her backpack, Molotovs waiting for targets, and hundreds upon hundreds of leaflets pronouncing that she is up against the wall, motherfucker. Yes, she is the one who's standing in the wind. I'm sorry.
Take your time.
That is good. It is good.
Yes, she is the one standing in the wind. She cruises down the interstate with the bumper sticker that protests, "Keep your laws off my body." She's the one that every little girl should want to be. But sadly, our little girls watch too much TV. Okay, I'm gonna try to get better as I move on. I'm a little nervous.
That's okay, you win, friends.
Okay, this one is untitled. Like I said, a lot of them are untitled. I don't like titling things. It's weird, you know, people just kind of start to think that a poem has to be about what the title has, you know, to do with or whatever. I think poetry is something that is mostly about what people read or what people see when they read it. As I march for my political unrest, realizing the battle, I must confess that life in this communal cubicle is forever unrest. I was never a resident, but always a guest in this United States of ignorance. So I reach down into my intellectual confidence, to that which intermingles within my mind and defines the lettered words that were lost in time. and was forever president. And this poem is another untitled one. Actually, I think this was my first political poem that I ever wrote, and I think I was around maybe 14, I think, when I wrote this. And who's that? An army with itching little feet and sharp mandibles coming after me. A traitor in their midst, you see, want to stand up for democracy. And yet they say I am a terrorist of lyrical thought. I scream back with the wrath of a roar. This ain't no democracy, whore. With the meanness of a presidential monarchical king as our leader in this war. This ain't no democracy, whore. And furthermore, our Senate following the big balls of those monarchical halls just so they could be monarchy someday. And you know, back in the day, I would be hanging at the end of some rope by the hands of some Republican Democratic intermingled group. That's a hell of a melting pot. Let's have some soup, even though it's a hot Sunday. And the dribbling drool of His Majesty will never convince me of the inherence of his royalty. So back off with your ill speak and go tell it to Cheney. Okay, 3 political poems, and the rest of them I'm gonna just freaking beat your brain out with love stuff. And just to be warned again, what I write about love typically borders along the sad, gray area of everything. But this is the section that I've decided to call Eros. And the first poem in that section is called Love. It's a twinkle of fire I found in life that seemed to scald my soul and burn my eyes. The sunset with a herald of pain, and I cried, can you tell it to die and disable those frowns on the sunset of my crown? Tell the water to just let fly in my eyes. Tell the damned time to warp and be like wine, intoxicate me. And this one is untitled again. I wrote this after becoming really obsessed with a poetic band called Me Without You. Sort of like screamo and stuff, but it borders along the lines of what they kind of do. It's untitled. And we will be like sources for the roaches and feed and let play till we choose to let burn the torches. Let it burn. The torches will burn and they'll fill it and they will run. Just let them. And we'll let burn and run even after the matter. Let them burn. It'll just make it all the more fun. Let's ruin our souls, and in the cold, the winter's cold, we'll bowl over